super happy to be back here. A little biased, but I'll say look no further. If you are here, this is it. This is the program. Um, it is just such a tremendous opportunity, and I'm so glad that you all are here right now, listening to this and curious to learn more. It really is so incredible.
And just the depth of conversation that was happening between members of the cohort when I sat in on a class as a prospective student was something that really attracted me. Compared to other programs, the students were really like collaborating and learning from each other and having very, very deep, meaningful conversations that included perspectives with diversity and difference of perspective and experience. And I just didn't see that at other places that I had looked at. And so as I saw that, I was really drawn to Dartmouth, and I really wanted to be in the rooms where those conversations were happening.
Did some research, and the Dartmouth program just had everything that I wanted. It was just a really perfect blend, in my opinion, of the science and healthcare that I already had some of, but also just the economics and the policy. And it was just a really, really nice blend of that. And also, I think Mia even brought it up earlier, just the diversity of the student body.
There were a couple really big things that attracted me to Dartmouth. The first was the amount of innovative thought happening there. I think that's so underrated and or underappreciated, is the amount of things I saw that were just, I looked at them and I was like, how do you even like come up or conceive something this cool? Like, it sounds like kind of maybe a silly thing, but I was seeing so many things like that come out of Dartmouth, and I was like, this place is not only a place that's going to set me up for success, give me a good education, but it also really cares about developing their students individually to become public health professionals, to tackle questions in unique ways and have innovative ideas. And that's exactly the kind of place I wanted to be and where I needed to be at that stage in my career. Just like Brad was saying earlier, the diversity in terms of like racial, ethnic composition, in terms of careers, is just amazing. And Dartmouth does a great job of selecting for really the best of the best. And so not only are you exposed to that, but then you grow from being surrounded by those specific people.
At the time of my life where I was, again, like I mentioned, I was pre-PA. Dartmouth program was going to be 11 months for me because I was in the residential program. So that was very attractive to me. Again, I'm coming out from the pre-med space, so I'm really like, after rigor, that's not a new thing to me. So I was like, oh, I can do that. And being from Maryland, I'm like, oh, going to New Hampshire, okay, that's a new experience. So of course, again, the location and the 11-month part really drew me to that. But then when I started looking more into the program and seeing how they were very particular about like what their program was all about, the curriculum, and obviously having that small class kind of interaction that my colleagues have mentioned, it's just like was really where I felt I wanted to be. Again, being someone who has been in the public health space from undergrad, I really wanted to be around like, people who already have done a lot in the field and for the field and are really passionate about what they do, so I can learn from them and just, tap into their knowledge. So again, that was really, really big for me to keep learning. And Dartmouth MPH MS programs really emphasize that, you make it, I always tell people, you make it what you want it to be for you. And I got to experience that even while in the program. And again, I think it was really, really fruitful experience for me.
Your faculty advisors are incredible. They really got me into implementation science. And now even in my job, I work in immunizations, and I use a lot of the things that I learned through the process of doing my IEL and the things that I learned about implementation science in my job today.
Ultimately, I walked away from it going, I don't want to be a lawyer anymore. I want to be a veterinarian. And Dartmouth was instrumental in helping me make that transition.
Showing you the wide range and diversity of topics that you can approach using your I or your A, because it gives you an opportunity to kind of, like we addressed earlier on, there's no specificity in what you learn at Dartmouth. There's a broad range of opportunities. I think most of the important things is to keep in mind is to time management, starting early, talking to the professors and figuring out like exactly how you can start structuring like your research question, or the place you would like to work for your internship, or even if you don't have any ideas, exploring different topics with professors to see where you maybe an interest could be, where you can start an interest. So I think throughout the process, it was very, very motivating.
And we just ended up having a tremendous class. And it made such a huge impact. And now, as a second year med student, I've written like several op-eds that have been published. I'm working on like a policy memo right now about federal policy regarding whole body donation for med school anatomy labs and anatomical gift programs. And all of these things, I set the bedrock for my ILE capstone course with policy debate. So there's, as you've heard, just from the over the past few minutes, there really is so much variety, and you can really do whatever you want. If you have an idea, you can go to a professor, go to a mentor, be like, hey, I wanna do something. I would love to do an IEL crafted in this manner, and you can do it. And it's a super special experience. So
I would say two things. Number one, don't be afraid of the quantitative component. Like I've said a couple times, I was a lawyer and I was very afraid of having to take biostatistics, and our biostatistics professor was incredible and, made me passionate about Excel and Stata and wrote my recommendation letters for veterinary school. So there's a lot of room to learn about yourself and your strengths, and don't come in with any preconceived notions. And the other piece of advice, this is kind of a corollary to that, and I would just say, if you are taking on a new academic journey or a new academic challenge, don't limit yourself.
My one piece of advice would be, if you can start it, you can finish it. Again, being in the accelerated program, there were many times, when you're studying past midnight and you're thinking, like Meredith was just saying, with the quantitative aspect and with data and learning new softwares, you might think, oh my God, this is too much for me, but believe it that you can actually finish, and it's doable. Again, just take it one day at a time. You will learn so much. Keep an open mind, and always be enthusiastic and passionate, and that will carry you through the finish line.
Your faculty are your best friends. Like Mia said it as well, like fall back on your faculty, mentors, your professors. They care so much about you, and they really are there to help you. And I know you're probably used to hearing that. I'm sure like people have told you in college, high school, same thing. It's so true. Second quick piece of advice, be open-minded. Like you're going to find your ways of traditional thinking challenged here in a good way. It's going to really force you to open and consider new perspectives you never thought of before. And it can be a little bit uncomfortable at first, but be open to that, embrace it, acknowledge the discomfort at first. It's okay, it's natural. Be like, I'm feeling this, I'm going to experience it, and I'm going to grow from it. And take that mindset into every single class, every single professor, every single lecture. And finally, last minute piece of advice, this is for the in-person residential people specifically, take advantage of the Upper Valley. Like the Upper Valley is such a cool place. And my biggest regret about my time at Dartmouth is that I only started exploring the areas around Hanover, like at the end, like my last 2-3 months there. Like go around, there's so much natural beauty, drive to like Concord, go to like Vermont, we're right on the border of New Hampshire and Vermont. Go see like everything in those two states, and like have an amazing time, because you really never get time like this again.
Lean on your cohort. I'm sure that my colleagues here will agree with me. There is something so special about the cohort that Dartmouth curates each year. We get connected and we stay connected because Dartmouth is so special. The people that you connect with and network with, they're going to be people that you're connected with for life. You might be, last year I was grading some of their papers. Now I'm on a panel with them, people that I met in my cohort. We've done research projects together. They're some of the best friends I've made. They're the people that are going to help you get through the hard times. They're the people that are going to tell you, you can do this. We're going to do this together. They'll study with you. They'll give you different perspectives. As much as you'll learn from the faculty, you'll probably learn as much, if not more, from your cohort and your peers. So that would be the biggest piece of advice I can give you, is take advantage of the connections that you get to make, because they are so wonderful. You're getting diverse perspectives, and they're just people that are so passionate about the field, and people that you can kind of rely on to reignite that spark in you as well.
Since I've gone from one profession to being a future clinician, I have a 40 plus people I can call anytime I have, oh, sorry, this is the life of a vet student. This is Sunday, but I have 40 plus people that I can call and ask clinical questions to. I can run terminology pass. Like, I'm in a better place in my next step of my career because I have this strong network of people who are willing to give me the help. And that's made the transition a lot easier.